Welcome along to this mini-series of Destination Unknown. In this 4-part series, I'll be travelling across 7 remote islands throughout the Pacific Ocean. I can't promise you'll be overly entertained, however I can promise you some premium shots of my multiple chins which I've inherited from my late grandmother. Love you, Nana.
I wanted an adventure and this is exactly what I got. But this is the view. Travis is live streaming.
We're safe.
Are we safe?
As this channel is predominantly about aviation, I promise to bring you multiple shots from the outside of planes. From the inside of planes. Pointing at planes. And also diving on planes. Stick around long enough and you'll see me become obsessed with a little red bird.
Little red bird up there. Hello, little red bird. Is that my red bird? Hello, little red bird.
And watch me get lost for words.
I'm lost for words.
So sit back, relax and enjoy this adventure into the unknown as I try to bring you my experience in discovering these beautiful cultures and local life in these incredible unknown remote islands.
Fucking hell, this is chaos. Part of the... Yeah, alright. What the hell? Adventure.
Welcome to nowhere. Alright, let's go.
Like most of my unusual trips, this trip started no differently, by browsing through Plane Finder and looking for anomalies. On this occasion, finding a huge Boeing 777 coming from the United States in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, heading to a tiny island. Something I was certainly not expecting to see. Where's it going and why is such a large aircraft used on this route? As time passes and curiosity intensifies, fast forward 18 months and it's time to actually start this trip. From a cold winter's morning here in Kyoto, Japan, it's around 6 AM when I leave my friend's house to take the Karasuma line down to Kyoto Station. From there I jump on the Haruka Express service for about 1 hour 30 minutes to Kansai International Airport where I take my first flight. Today's aircraft was a 23-year-old Boeing 737-800. We also had a Japanese school trip on board. Judging by some of their reactions, for some of them this was definitely their first flight. How cool is that? A fairly swift departure, we headed down to runway 24 left to take off in a southwesterly direction before making a left turn and heading south.
Welcome to Guam. A toasty 28 degrees. Humidity's through the roof. I've already given up trying to tame the hair. 2 things I've realised already. GoPro stopped working and I didn't pack my sunglasses. Smart move. So this is the first stop on my 7-island challenge that I've set myself.
Guam is part of the Northern Mariana Islands, south of Japan and east of the Philippines. It's unincorporated territory and effectively Commonwealth of the United States. There's 14 islands in total that make up the Northern Marianas, and north of Guam is the island of Rota, Tinian and Saipan.
Tinian was where they launched the bombing aircraft that eventually delivered to Hiroshima. And the airfield's been abandoned ever since World War II. But now, apparently, from 2023, the US are looking to renovate the airfield because of increasing military threats from China. So we'll see how that goes. You think you're recording and then you realise you're not even recording. So this is my alarm clock. Freaking 7 AM this morning. Thank you for that, sir. Guam is part of the... Yeah, alright. This hotel is absolutely massive, but it's completely empty. There's nobody here. It's really strange.
It turns out I'd visited in Guam's rainy season, which unsurprisingly correlates to less tourists.
I'm just walking down and like, there's birds just chilling. Right, bird? So just to explain what I'm doing a little bit on this trip, I've given myself a 7-island challenge. God, the lighting's terrible. Oh, I look shit, regardless of the angle, so I'll just keep going. Initially, it was called the Milk Run by Continental Airlines back in the 1990s, I think. It's still run today by United Airlines, surprisingly. It starts in Guam and it goes through a few islands in Micronesia before going over to a few islands in the Marshall Islands before eventually ending up in Hawaii. It's maybe 15 hours non-stop if you fly it. I'm not staying on the plane. I am getting off the plane because I want to experience local life and local culture and just enjoy these fascinating places. So I hope you enjoy. So now I'm off to Tumon, downtown. I've been recommended to go there. Apparently it's a place I should see. This is my little shuttle bus that apparently will take me the 3-mile journey for $7. But what is that? It's a bus, but it identifies as a tram.
Guam's history is rich, but it's complex. The indigenous Chamorro people have lived here for over 3,000 years. It was then colonised by the Spanish in 1668 before the US took control in 1898, and it was renamed the Naval Station of Guam, as it had the perfect location for a military base due to its proximity with Japan. Today, 27% of Guam's land is owned and controlled by the US military. In 1901, the Supreme Court declared that Guam would be a possession of the US, not part of it. This was due to incredibly unjust ethnic and racist ideologies held at the time, where it was stated that indigenous Chamorro people were in fact an alien race, therefore were incapable of comprehending Anglo-Saxon principles, hence the US Constitution would not apply to Guam. Even today, citizens of Guam still get a raw deal, where they can join the military, but they're unable to vote in the US election.
So I'm just in the hotel and I'm just walking around. I've got dripped on and I've seen the amount of humidity has collected on the ceiling. That is how freaking humid this place is. Again, for context, here is the mirror. Like, I didn't even notice this was happening, but you leave the balcony door open for the morning and this is what you get. Like, what the hell?
Later on that evening, I took a short bus ride over to Chamorro Night Market, which seems to happen once a week every Wednesday evening. I was definitely met with some local culture and a few culture shocks. Despite not filming much after visiting the night market, I actually ended up on the other end of town by mistake, as I took the only bus I could back to my hotel and it decided not to stop at my hotel. So I had to ask a complete stranger to come and rescue me. So if you're watching this, Joey, thank you so much for coming to save me and for taking me around and showing me the true nature of Guam. It's 5:30 in the morning and a short drive over from my hotel, and I'm at Guam's International Airport ready for check-in with United Airlines for my flight over to the Federated States of Micronesia. United Airlines actually operates a fleet of 10 Boeing 737s from Guam, heading daily to the likes of Tokyo, Narita, Haneda, as well as Nagoya, Fukuoka and Osaka in Japan. They also have a daily 777-300ER service flying from Guam to Honolulu. Today's flight is approximately 1 hour and 20 minutes from Guam to Chuuk in Micronesia. It's a long taxi down all the way to the start of runway 6 left for a northeasterly departure before turning right to head southeast to Chuuk. This music is as close as I could get to a genre called Pacific Island Reggae, which I'd never heard of before, but I was about to find out about, as all the locals in Chuuk are blasting this from their cars as they drive around the island. As we started our descent into Chuuk Lagoon, formerly known as Chuuk Lagoon, it wasn't long before the beautiful reefs and atolls that Chuuk has to offer came into view, as we lined up for a northeasterly approach into Chuuk's runway 4. Chuuk Lagoon offers a remarkable piece of history stored just beneath the surface of the waves. During World War II, the Japanese used Chuuk Lagoon as their key naval base in the Pacific Ocean. However, in 1944, the Americans took control of the Marshall Islands, a group of islands just east of Micronesia. From there, they were able to launch a 3-day attack known as Operation Hailstone on the Japanese fleet of ships stored in Chuuk Lagoon. In what some say was vengeance for Pearl Harbor, the Americans successfully sunk over 60 Japanese ships and hundreds of aircraft. The wrecks are still there today, well preserved, creating a great home for marine life. Once checked into Hotel Level 5 next to the airport, I headed up to the kind of communal balcony to capture the departure of the aircraft as it flew the Island Hopper service onwards to Pohnpei. It was only then I had this genius idea to try and use 2 cameras to capture the takeoff, but I didn't realise that actually the departure would take the aircraft behind the mountain. So yeah, stay tuned for more premium aviation footage right here.
I'm in the hotel. They've put up a Christmas tree. Look at the gifts underneath the Christmas tree. I love it.
Keen to explore, I decided to go for a walk along Chuuk's only main road along the west side of the island. But I only made it 1/3 of the way because I completely melted in the humidity.
Welcome to a very windy Chuuk, spelled C-H-U-U-K. This is my second island of my little island hopping trip, and my first stop in Micronesia, which I found out actually covers a region the size of the USA. It's just scattered amongst the Pacific Ocean. There's 4 main islands of Micronesia. Chuuk, which is the one I'm on, is the smallest region. Pohnpei being the capital, where I'm going tomorrow, and Kosrae, where I'm going afterwards. There's also another island called Yap, Y-A-P, that I didn't know existed, so I'll have to put that on a future list. Interestingly, Chuuk is the smallest island, but it has a population of 50,000 people, and 50% of Micronesia's population is just in this tiny island, and actually 50% of Chuuk's population are under 20 years old, so it's a massive youth population here.
Apart from the small amount of people's individual livestock, the majority of the diet here in Chuuk is processed foods which have to be imported from America. There really was very limited fresh produce available, and there's barely any land dedicated to agriculture. Also, on my walk around, it became apparent quickly that Chuuk is inundated with cars, especially on this one main road. Just as I was walking around, there was a traffic jam building up on one side, and then within a few minutes a traffic jam built up on the other side as well. I reckon this is because there's such a large population for Chuuk's small surface area, and well, everyone wants to travel in comfort rather than stupidly walk around in the heat like I did. Later on that afternoon, as the weather cooled, I headed north to explore a little bit more, and I happened to catch the Island Hopper service coming in from Pohnpei, this time heading back to Guam. With so much fascination and adrenaline about this crazy island, I completely ignored the grey clouds on the horizon, to my later regret.
I am soaked. But that's okay, that's life, that's good.
Once I'd dried off, it was time for dinner. The guys at the hotel made me some reef fish, and I tell you, this was absolutely delicious. The next morning, it was time to explore. Travis from the hotel offered to take me up to the Japanese lighthouse. This journey would take us about an hour and 35 minutes, despite being just over 8.6 kilometers. This is because Chuuk's roads are so poorly maintained north of the airfield. A quick stop for petrol, about $5 per litre, and we're on the road again. Here it's clear to see that Chuuk's car problem extends off the road as well as on the road. Perhaps because of lack of importation of car parts, once a car is deemed it's too expensive to fix, it just gets parked up and left to rot. I tell you, anyone who wants to move here and start a scrap business could make a fortune. Remember I mentioned about Pacific Island reggae? Well, here we go.
Back off rice.
Ah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
What Travis has just explained to me is that the kids are actually carrying an empty bag of rice around with them. If you fold the bag of rice in a certain way and then fling it around in the air, it makes a loud popping sound. Seems to be a generic form of entertainment here on the island and was actually really beautiful to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
The lighthouse we're heading to represents a time in Micronesia's history when it was governed over by the Japanese. It was only in 1944 that the Americans discovered the lighthouse along with a nearby airbase, and they bombed it, putting it out of commission.
Right now, shaking through the jungle with my tour guides, barefoot, because flip-flops was a stupid idea. We're heading to see the Japanese lighthouse built in 1940. But yeah, this is an adventure. Small communication, but it's good. This could be the last video I ever make. In which case, I love you all. It's alright, he's taking a video too, so if this doesn't make it out, you've got his video as evidence. We made it to the lighthouse. Damn, that's a view. I think the camera's going to pick it up. Oh yeah, kind of. Fuck, what a trek. There's your lighthouse. Thank you, Travis. It's been good, man. Thank you. And these two gentlemen too. They could have killed me, but not yet. Just taking videos here, and Travis is live streaming. He's live streaming from the top of the lighthouse. I love it. Got people commenting and everything.
While Travis live streamed to the rest of the island, I took a moment to contemplate just how lucky I was to be in such a remarkable location on Earth. I didn't take a lot of footage on the way home, mainly because of Travis's Reggae Island playlist being played on repeat at max volume, giving me a bit of a headache.
This is definitely the least touristy island I've ever been to, apart from Kiribati. I can't deny Chuuk is pretty rough, but the islanders are so warm and genuine and just happy, you know? It's so nice to see happy children playing and smiling. Everyone knows each other, everyone toots and smiles, everyone waves. I love it, I love it. See? Just leaving the hotel. Had a little bit of breakfast, now heading to the airport. Considering the airport is there, they just offered me a lift. I'm like, are you kidding? He's like, no, I can give you a lift. It's 30 seconds walk away. It's like, oh, okay. Bless them. Such lovely people. Thank you, Chuuk. Until next time.
Just like that, it's time to go. I'm boarding United Airlines flight 155 onwards to my next destination. We taxi down to Chuuk's runway 4 for a northeasterly departure, as I have an interaction with a rather stubborn window blind. And that concludes part 1 of this mini-series, Destination Unknown, the Pacific Island Milk Run. Join me next time where I take on Pohnpei, the capital of Micronesia. Thanks for watching.